Imagine conducting an interview and fully expecting the candidates to brag about themselves. Your US candidates have no problem sharing their accomplishments. In fact, they are raised to toot their own horn, so to speak, and even brag about all their accomplishments. In an interview, their goal is to sell themselves in the best light possible. Other candidates, though, may find this very difficult. For them, it is inappropriate to talk about their accomplishments. So, the challenge is, how do you make room for both types of candidates? In other words, can you interview in a way so all candidates can come in and feel they performed at their best? Hi, my name is Louisa Drescher. I am the President and CEO of Mastering Cultural Differences and a global diversity expert. I work with global organizations like yours across all industries, and I help team members understand and work well across cultural differences so they can avoid costly misunderstandings. In my book, Mastering Cultural Differences, Strategies for Leading a Global Workforce, I discuss many cultural differences impacting today's global organizations. And today, this is what I want to share with you: how individualism and collectivism affect your business. But first, I want to briefly share what individualism and collectivism mean. This is a cultural dimension that was first highlighted by Hofstede in a large-scale study of over 100,000 managers and employees all over the world. This dimension has to do with the tendency of certain groups to emphasize the needs of an individual or the needs of a group. In other words, whose goals are more important, those of the individual or those of the group? I think this is best explained with an example. I once had an undergraduate assistant from Iraq, and he was not doing well in his chosen major. So his advisor in the international office contacted his sponsor so they could authorize a major change. Now, in the United States, changing majors is very common. In fact, studies show that at least 80% of college students change their major throughout their college education. However, the answer from the sponsor was no. The country right now needs electrical engineers, which was my assistant's major, and if he does not want to pursue it, he needs to come home and we'll send somebody else. This is a classic example of how the needs of a group, in this case the country, take precedence over the needs of the individual. Now, let's go back to the interview scenario I mentioned earlier. Individualism and collectivism impact many aspects of a global organization. For example, the interview process, as we've seen, talent recognition, how decisions are made, how individuals compete with each other, how goals are achieved, and even performance evaluation. In the example I mentioned earlier, how can the hiring committee make room for both types of candidates? First and foremost, this behavior needs to be recognized for what it is: a cultural difference and not a deficiency on the part of the candidates. You need to understand that candidates with collectivist tendencies may have a hard time bragging about their accomplishments, because for these individuals, success is accomplished through cooperation and not because of a single individual. So those conducting the interview need to find creative ways for candidates to share their past accomplishments and skills. And the key is to tailor the questions in a way that allows the candidates to highlight their accomplishments as part of a team and not as an individual. So instead of asking, "Tell me about your experiences in securing a new account," you could ask, "Would you mind sharing how you helped your team secure a new account? And what was your specific role in the team? I hope you enjoyed today's segment. If you want more tips on cultural differences impacting today's global organizations, make sure to subscribe to the Mastering Cultural Differences channel. And if you would like a detailed table explaining this cultural dimension and the many different ways that it impacts the workplace, click on the link below and I'll send you a copy of my free guide for understanding and working well with collectivists. And remember, differences are never a problem once you master them. Bye for now.